Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we're going to be doing an exciting comparison where we're going to be taking a look at the Liberty ammunition. It's their Overwatch series in 10mm. We're going to look at it with our FN510 Tactical and our Smith & Wesson FPC. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. Today we are talking about this Liberty Overwatch ammunition. It is a 70 grain projectile, very lightweight hollow point .4 caliber, and it's supposed to be doing 2150 feet per second for this Liberty Overwatch ammunition. That's pretty good. We're going to put that to the test. We're also going to test it in a couple of different scenarios. We're going to test it out of our handgun and out of our 16-inch Smith & Wesson FPC. See if that extra barrel length causes this still to perform, or does it then underperform. There's a couple of positives that I like about this. Number one, carrying 10mm ammunition can be quite heavy. We're talking about 200 grain bullets, and you're carrying them in your pistol. That can really add to the weight and add to the pant sag as you're carrying it around your waist. So putting a few of these rounds in really lightens up your load. But the question is do they perform? There's lots of internet back and forth of whether or not, no, these are not traditional hollow points and I'll never trust my life to them, versus some others are like, this is the greatest new thing since ammunition has been invented. And there may be some truth to both sides to this. And on the pro side of this is there are a lot of research studies that say you get rifle performance when you start getting a round that's going over 2,000 feet per second. What's the difference between this round going 2150 and a 5.56 round out of a very short barrel going also 2150? You start to get some very similar types of performance. You see rapid expansion, you see explosion of the round in terms of the material of the bullet. You see fragmentation, you see all these same properties. And again, lots of autopsy reports say there is something that happens around between 2,000 and 2,300 feet per second with a round when it transitions from being a pistol round to a rifle round in terms of the damage that it can do. Past, I've heard some people say that the quality out of Liberty or Civil Defense is not up to snuff. I haven't had any issues with them. They seem to run in my guns, but we're going to put that to the test today. We're going to be looking at our real world simulation where we have 4 layers of clothing, 2 t-shirt, 2 denim, 2 inches of gelatin, 1/4 inch of medium density fiberboard, and then bunch of gelatin, clear ballistic gelatin following that. And so that gives us, it helps us slow the bullet down when sometimes the speeds of the ammunition doesn't quite perform as it would in organic gelatin, which is what the FBI uses. And so this helps slow the round and allows it to expand just a little bit when we put that medium density fiberboard in there into our test series. And you could also say it acts a little bit like bone. Now, so this should be a good time. We're going to hopefully get these comparisons done. We'll also do some velocity and some accuracy testing with the ammunition. So hope everyone's strapped in and ready to go. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. Okay, we have the FN510 Tactical, and we have this Liberty Overwatch. It's a 70 grain projectile. It's supposed to be going 2150. I don't know what they did it out of, but again, 10mm. So we've got our real world simulation. That's the only simulation we're going to be using today because we're going to be shooting it out of the 510 and the Smith & Wesson FPC. So we've got 2 layers of denim, 2 layers of t-shirt, 2.5 inches of gel, and then medium density fiberboard, and then a whole bunch of clear ballistic gel after that. This is a little bit different than Gun Sam's because that 2.5 inches may be important for this Liberty Overwatch. Sometimes this bullet just explodes in the first inch or so. And sometimes, like if you hit the medium density fiberboard after the explosion, you don't get as much penetration and much damage beyond the medium density fiberboard. So this will be a good test to see how it performs in the 2.5 inches of gel before the medium density fiberboard. 2182, wowzers. Jeez. Okay, wow, so that is telling us quite a bit. So not the typical explosion, but there is quite a bit of fragments continuing out here. We lost our tape measure. It's here, trust me, it's here. And that explosion continues out to 7 or 8 inches. It's very similar to other hollow points. And then the bullet, the main projectile, which again has lost quite a bit of its weight, is out to 13 inches. That's pretty good too. That's pretty good. But we just saw a whole bunch of explosion in here before it hit the medium density fiberboard. And that's what I was looking to see in this. So that is pretty interesting. And then watch what happened to our medium density fiberboard. It was exploding obviously before and during when it hit this board in wowzers. So in that first 2.5 inches, that would put a hurt on whoever it is happening. I don't know if it would do the same result with bone, but good gracious, that's a massive hole in the medium density fiberboard. Not that this is like particularly strong, but it does have a similar hardness and a similar water density as bone does. So that was one reason why you can call it a quasi bone simulation. It doesn't put a hurt on the bullet like a normal one does, but this thing was exploding right before it hit this, as we can see that in this 2 inches of gel before it. So yeah, that's kind of a crazy result. Okay, we got the Smith & Wesson FPC with this Liberty Defense Overwatch 16-inch barrel. We'll see how it performs in the real world simulation. In between, I have a new medium density fiberboard, and I've got a new initial 2 inches of gel, but the rest of the gel block is there. Yeah. 2643. All right, well, it's getting hard to see what the heck is going on in there, but this one basically did the same thing, but faster. It only got down to about the 13-inch mark, which again, you know, comparing organic gelatin, all of those things, it probably would get less in organic gel. I swear this was a new gel block, but it just got on the ground. That's what happened before. It was a brand new gel block and it hit the ground. Such is life. But that thing was expanding. It entered from over here. It was expanding about at the 1-inch mark and then just kaplooed. It looks like we kind of missed the bottom half of it, but I mean, that's doing a lot of damage there. That's kind of crazy. And then we just see it continue, and you know, there's you know, fragments and stuff going out to 8 inches. There's some jetting up here, down, above. It's going all over. That sucker's doing a ton of damage. That's kind of crazy. And you know, and again, I can't remember. I'll pull those out. Maybe I'll weigh them when I get home if I remember. But yeah, there's not much of it that continues to penetrate, but it's enough to keep doing some damage. Here's the two projectiles. One on the right of the pistol, one on the left is the rifle. You know, they're very similar. All right, we got the FPC going. See how it does. 2618. 2612, 2631, 2598, and 2642. Maybe I had one more. I did. And 2631. Let's take a quick look at the session summary as the storm is blowing in. I'm trying to finish up. At a min of 2598, an average of 2622, max of 2642, extreme spread of 44, standard deviation of 14, average kinetic energy of 1068 or 1098. You'll see it. Wowzers, that's pretty good performance. 1,000 energy foot-pounds there. That's awesome. Well, and you guessed it, I forgot to record or somehow lost the video footage of me taking the velocity readings on the FN510 with this Liberty Overwatch ammunition. But I did capture it on the Garmin, so here we go. Let's review it. I had an average of 2150.6. That's excellent. That's right about what the box is saying that we should be getting. A min of 2027.8, a max of 22.7, standard deviation of 66.1, and a pretty big extreme spread of 184.9 and a kinetic energy of 719.4. So that's pretty interesting for this round out of the pistol. Now let's move on to see what it's doing in terms of quote-unquote accuracy. Okay, well, we are at 10 yards. We got this Liberty Overwatch, the FN510. We'll see how we do with quote-unquote accuracy. Can we get a group with these bullets? There's a pretty big extreme spread in this, so I am a little worried. I didn't need to be worried. We're this group down at the bottom. There's 3 really tight in there. You know, one of these I'm sure I'm pulling, but at 10 yards, that's great for me. So that ammunition is fine. Okay, we're back at 15 yards with the FPC. We'll see how we do with quote-unquote accuracy. The Liberty Civil Defense Overwatch, I mean, and we've got to load the round. We got a failure. I've only had 3 failures. This is one of them. It did not pick up the round. It extracted, didn't pick it up. And that's what I've seen on other ones. They're 220 grain hard cast and a 40 Smith & Wesson round. Well, it ran the rest of those. Let's go down quick, take a quick look at the group. It's not a bad group down there at the bottom. Come on, camera, work with me, work with me. Not a bad group down there. I believe there are 5 shots. I think there are 2 right in there, so it's a pretty good group. Okay, you'll have to excuse me. I'm just noticing that my sweat's kind of coming through. My apologies out there, guys. It's 100 degrees today. It's cooled down just a little bit from now, but yeah, I'm just gonna shoot 17 rounds. I've got 2 loaded up here, and then I'll do a mag change. We got some steel, we got some other things we're shooting at, so. And then that's that mag. All right, did not hold open on the last mag, or on the last shot. So I don't know if that one was a fluke or what. Let's wrap things up. Today we shot our FN510 Tactical and our FPC, Smith & Wesson FPC in 10mm. Boy, what a good time. And today we test out that Liberty Overwatch, and you know, we had some kind of mixed results. So in the FPC, we had that one failure out of what, 27 rounds, something like that. That didn't make me feel good. I would want to run this like a couple hundred more times to see if that was a fluke. Was that a mag issue? Or was it just that this gun doesn't run that ammunition? Or is it that my gun doesn't run that ammunition? That's something to look at. The FN510, I didn't have any issues, but maybe I would want to get a larger sample size of shooting it to see how well it ran. Then we turned and look at the gel performance. That was also kind of an interesting result. I'm not so sure it was like the best results that we've ever seen. Now, one of the neat things about the Liberty Overwatch, it's got those, 40 grain projectiles that kind of keep going through the medium or the tissue after you have that initial fragmentation and explosion. And so that's pretty good. Whether or not those have enough power after that explosion to like puncture lung or heart or other tissue like that, I don't know. And what I really felt was interesting is that in this case, we saw like most of the explosion starting to happen in that first 2 inches of gel. Then it happened through the MDF, which is kind of a huge chunk. And then it kept going just a little bit, but mostly a lot of that stuff happened at the MDF and a little before the MDF. And maybe that's a little too early on. I don't know. I sure would like this round to work because I like the notion of carrying something light. And then I also really like the notion of ammunition that's going over 2,000 feet per second. That's really where we get some magic to happen. But whether or not this is the round that the magic happens in, I don't know. But I would love to hear from you all in the comments below. What do you think of the Liberty Civil Defense? Is this something you'd trust your life with? I know at times I've carried it and I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I think it's amazing. Other times I really wonder about it. Let me know what you guys think, if this testing changed your mind, or if you have other opinions on the rounds, or if you're a traditional hollow point, FMJ, flat nose, whatever you want. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And I hope everyone has a great week, and let's get to shooting.
From pistols to rifles, we'll take on the best. Reviewing each weapon, put them to the test. With revolvers and shotguns, we'll break it all down. The Second Amendment protects from the crown.